Hey there, everybody. I'm CCB Dolan, back again with Apathetic Brent, bringing you the Obsidian front versus Darkness of Despair. And we have got two really brawler setups here. Why don't you tell us a little bit about them?
Okay, so Darkness of Despair has brought 2 Chronos, Damnation, Oneros, and a support wing. It's a pretty standard double battleship comp, which is great. It's not Dominix's, it's not Tinker. We love it. And then on the Obsidian front, we have 2 Sleipnirs, 3 Vexers, 2 or 3 Thoraxes, 2 or 3 Ruptures, and a Kitsune.
Time to run its stuff with a lot of cruiser hulls and battle cruisers and just bring the pain.
Absolutely.
If they can get on top of the... So here's the thing, though. The Obsidian front is warped at 0. Darkness of Despair is warped in at 50, taking their Chronoses in at max range. Good job, Darkness of Despair. Didn't fall for the Obsidian front trap. Now they have to burn across through webs of Chronoses. We have some tracking disruption on the Chronoses. Going to be pretty strong once they get in on top of them. But it's just the distance closing that has to happen. And how much Darkness of Despair can control with those webs, with their support, as this logistics-free Obsidian front teams tries to rush in and kill stuff.
Yeah, and things are actually going pretty well here. I agree with what Obsidian front is doing. They're not rushing right in. They're waiting for things to get a little less hectic. They want to see what the support of Darkness of Despair is going to do before they really go in and commit to a fight. There is an Enyo taking damage. It's not a lot of damage, but it's damage nonetheless. When this kicks off, it is going to be fast and hard.
Do you know what they have done, though, that they're actually... it's not really that bright, is they've applied all of their drones. The Obsidian front, many of these ships only have 1 flight of drones. They've sent a ton of them over the
Some
Darkness
of them
of
are
Despair
starting
team.
to pull them back because
Okay.
it is 2 Chronoses. They do have they should have smart bombs, so that is a very poor use of those drones.
Yeah, there's a cloud of like 40 Warrior 2s over there. And if those Warrior 2s get smart bombed off, there's not going to be a lot of extra flights around.
But it's just the Warriors doing all the damage to that Enyo.
Yeah, wow. But the thing is, like, Darkness of Despair has logistics. They can handle just drone DPS. They can cope with it, kill the drones, and then the Obsidian front is just that more hampered because, like, look at the Obsidian front's attack bar and look at what percentage of damage the drones are doing.
Yeah, it's not much. I would like to see, let me look at the positioning here, see if those Chronoses are still right on top of each other. If they get split up at all, that is go time. The Chronoses are not on top of each other. This would be a pretty decent time for them to go in. Oh, absolutely. One Chronos is like 15 kilometers ahead of the next one. They should commit right now, and it looks like they might be doing just that.
Yeah, here we go. Here comes the burn down. You can see them getting closer and closer to that blue blob there. Red opposing blue, getting ready to clash. Once this Obsidian front team gets in on top of the Chronos, they have to crush through it. They have to
They're being
completely...
really lethargic about it, though. They need to take advantage of this opening right now.
It looks like they've set anchor on one of the Sleipnirs and are just rolling in slowly like that. They just need to burn. They need to burn straight at somebody, get their tracking disruptors on them, completely mitigate any of those damps that's being applied, and just obliterate a Chronos before the Darkness of Despair team can
the
really make their
window
reps
has
count.
come and gone. The Chronoses are right next to each other. At this point, I'd say you've accomplished what you're going to accomplish. I would get in there and get it done now. They have such an overwhelming DPS advantage.
But there's no reps. The Enyo just now catching reps. Will they be able to crush through the rest of the Enyo? Because if they can, then... Oh, no, a Thorax just caught. So the Thorax is caught. They need to kill whatever is attacking it immediately.
Yeah, they need to go in right now. There's a web applied on the Chronos of Tortured Veracity right now. They need to get in there and quit wasting time before they bleed more ships.
They lost the web on the Chronos. Well, they need to be deeper. No.
There it is. There's
There we
the
go.
damage.
Okay.
It's starting to be applied now. That Chronos is getting absolutely pooped on.
We will see as this damage bar for the Obsidian front grows larger and larger. No reps yet on that Chronos. What's going on? You had to know what they were going to shoot. Okay, reps finally catching.
Yep.
They lose a Vexer in return, though. They need to burn this Chronos to the ground right now.
It's catching way too much reps. They're not applying DPS very well. There are a lot of tracking disruptors spread across. I'm still surprised, though, that this Chronos didn't just absolutely melt.
They should just roll up, literally hit stop on their ships, and just apply damage. If they're getting tracking disrupted, don't worry about it. Chronos is not particularly fast. Just sit it at 0 and slam on it. The thing is, there are 2 Chronoses there, and they're just letting themselves bleed ships. They're going to lose another Thorax now. That's so much damage
the Chronos
they've lost.
hasn't even gone down yet.
Wow, and they haven't even killed the Enyo yet. Some guy has been shooting the Enyo the whole time.
Yeah, this did not go as planned. Mistakes were made. I don't even see jam effects coming off the Kitsune because he's damped. If they would have taken the opportunity, they had a clear-cut opportunity where there was 15 kilometers of separation between the two Chronos, that they could have gone in there, and this could have been a pretty quick and decisive victory. But as it stands now, they're just losing large chunks of their DPS at an alarming rate.
This is a good example of how not to run these all-in bruiser teams.
Absolutely.
So we've seen a couple of them. We saw earlier. We just see, by the way, you're just going to see the Obsidian front bleed ships like crazy. And pardon us if we don't mention every time some creature dies.
Ships are going to die, we assure you. And we're aware, but we'd rather talk about something else.
But so, like, we saw this, a similar setup, a kind of variation of this, rolling in with, like, 2 Gnosises and a bunch of Vigilance.
Right.
Basically, the idea is get close, do a lot of damage. But they did it when they did it and won with it. They got in all at the same time, did all their damage at once, crushed through logistics reps. Like, the logistics played a 0 factor in the entire match, but they didn't apply all their DPS at once. They were splitting it. Not everybody getting in, not everybody shooting with a full tracking on this Chronos, and the Chronos just coasted.
So when
through
everybody comes in at 0, it's a perfect situation. You don't have transversal to contend with because people are gaining velocity at the start, but they start at 0, and you get a chance to lock them down right away, do full damage. That wasn't the case here. So, and they made the right move by posturing. It's just when the opportunity came about, they didn't take advantage of it.
Well, it's also so intimidating because you only get one shot to dive in. With a team like this with no logistics, you basically have to go or no go, and if you go at the wrong time, you lose. So huge pressure on the Obsidian front team. They were not able to really come through here. They're going to be dropping out of the tournament. Darkness of Despair continuing on in the losers bracket. Really strong showing from Darkness of Despair.
Yeah, absolutely. They're proving that the very close match against Darkside yesterday, not a fluke. They are pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to see Dark Sequent dropping there. That's going to end the match. So we're going to throw it back to CCB Soundwave and the rest of the crew back in the studio.